ରାଷ୍ଟ୍ରମନ୍ତ୍ରୀ ଜୟନ୍ତ ସିହ୍ନା ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱରରେ ସାମ୍ବାଦିକ ସମ୍ମିଳନୀ କରୁଛନ୍ତି। ଆସନ୍ତୁ ଯିବା ସିଧାସଳଖ ସେଠାକୁ।
None of that came to any productive conclusion, and the winter session ended without the GST constitutional amendment being passed, and even the bankruptcy code we found, which is another very necessary legislation for India, was also not something that we could bring forward as quickly as we would have liked. So it is the recalcitrance, it is the resistance of the Congress that is not allowing us to pass bills and legislation that have been talked about for decades, and which everyone agrees will first of all reduce inflation in India, which will streamline business and reduce the costs of doing business and create jobs for our young workforce. Even this legislation, which everybody in the country and outside the country recognizes as a revolution in taxation and something that will make a huge difference for India's economy and India's growth, even that is being blocked by the Congress. And frankly, this is not just a defeat of the GST constitutional amendment. This is a blow to India's democracy. When every party is in support of GST and the Rajya Sabha is blocked for one frivolous reason or the other, the tyranny of the unelected continues, and legislation that is vitally necessary for India's future is blocked. It's a very sad day for India's democracy, friends, when that happens. And you know that we are constantly trying to reach out, and Honorable Parliamentary Affairs Minister Shri Venkaiah Naidu ji went yesterday again to see the Congress President to see whether it might be possible to find some understanding, and once again said whatever conditions, whatever matters they want to discuss, we are willing to discuss, and we are willing to come to a good, fruitful understanding of those. So that is where we are. We are really, really desirous of passing this constitutional amendment. We are approaching it in a very democratic, inclusive manner. We are making every possible effort, but we are being blocked at every turn by the principal opposition party, and that is indeed a really, really harsh blow to the functioning of this democracy. So that is where we are with respect to GST and the functioning of the winter session. I will now come to my second topic, which is my discussions today with the Honorable Finance Minister and senior officials, as well as with the Honorable Chief Minister. We've had a very productive set of conversations. We reviewed Odisha's financial position, the growth and the economy here in Odisha, and we talked about the 4 or 5 areas where we can collaborate and provide more assistance to the state of Odisha. The 4 or 5 areas that we've identified for further work are: number one, to see what might be possible for the accelerated irrigation benefits program and what we can do as part of Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Number two, there has been a commitment to the financing of medical colleges and the build out of that medical infrastructure in Odisha. So we are going to work together closely to see what we can do there. Number three, there are a number of important projects in the pipeline for Odisha that are eligible for multilateral financing from the World Bank, the Japanese International Cooperation Agency, the Asian Infrastructure Bank, the Asian Development Bank. These are multilateral agencies that could help in financing some of these infrastructure projects. So we will certainly look at that. And number four, as you know, there are certain backward districts in Odisha that require special assistance. So we are in discussions to see what we can do to assist those districts as well. Those were very productive conversations. We of course believe in cooperative federalism. We want to work together very closely with the states. We are looking to further accelerate the social sector programs that the center is doing. We are very hopeful we can solve the last mile problems and the access problems for financial services, and that is something also that we look forward to working with the state of Odisha on. I'll stop now and I will take questions.
Mr. Sinha, actually, why you are taking Parliament as a mockery? That means when we have power, the UP is doing the same thing what you are doing in the UP government. We don't know, we are bogus people sitting here and watching you what you are doing, the mockery of the parliamentary system. And we say why and how it will stop.
Yeah, the mockery of the parliamentary system is being undertaken by the principal opposition party. It is true that during UPA 2, Parliament was disrupted by our party. The circumstances were completely different. The charges were very serious. You know that the disruption that we undertook then was because of the telecom scam, which had already at that point been identified and analyzed by the CAG. The CAG had said that 1.8 lakh crores had been lost to the exchequer on the coal allocation, and a similarly large amount or a very large amount had also been lost to the exchequer from the telecom scam. There was talk of a JPC, and that JPC was not being created by the Congress party. So many reputable and constitutional agencies had already pointed out how important and how big these scams were, and it was Parliament's prerogative to set up a JPC, but Parliament was not being allowed to do so, and therefore after we had exhausted all alternatives and in light of this national crisis that we were facing of these scandals, we asked for a JPC to be set up, and that is the basis on which we disrupted Parliament. That is the first point. And by no means can you compare that disruption to the disruption that we've had in the monsoon session on issues like Lalit Modi and Vyapam, and now with DDCA. These are scams in name only. They are scams that are brought up simply to block Parliament. They have no basis in fact, and they are not something that have been brought forward by a constitutional body like the ones that we took action on. That's the
केन्द्र अर्थराष्ट्रमंत्री जयंत सिन्हा भुवनेश्वर सांबादिक सम्मेलन करते आप देखिपे सीधा चित्र सांबादिक सम्मेलन सीधा चित्र देखिपे अर्थराष्ट्रमंत्री जयंत सिन्हा प्रेसमिट करते मुख्यमंत्री को भेटी जयंत सिन्हा बीजेडी जीएसटी को समर्थन करुछि एवं जीएसटी बिल को सबु दल समर्थन करुछि बोली केन्द्रमंत्री कहते।